Let me get to some of the reaction that's pouring in right now,
Yeah.
because it's pretty extraordinary what we're hearing. You mentioned Obama. David Plouffe helped get Barack Obama elected, and here he is on MSNBC with Rachel Maddow. Listen.
President Obama's campaign manager in 2008, David Plouffe, is with us. David, I know you have been talking to some muckety-mucks in Democratic politics, including what we gingerly call the donor class. What was your personal David Plouffe take on what you saw tonight, and what are you hearing from the people you've been speaking with?
Well, I think consistent with your reaction, Rachel, and others on the panel, it's kind of a DEFCON 1 moment.
DEFCON 1. Here is John King of CNN with more.
Anderson, this was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible.
Buckle up, Dave. This is going to be a rough next couple of months, because the Democratic convention is now weeks away. It's in August in Chicago, and the Biden campaign is already trying to set it up such that the actual nomination will be done virtually weeks before that. So he's locked in as the nominee. What they'll do to stop it, I know not, but I think they're finally convinced.
What an absolute farce all of these people are. They have been running cover for Joe Biden. They have been running cover for this administration. They have pretended that we didn't see what we've all seen, the flubs and confusions and muddling and making and who's in charge. Remember, that's his other thing, right? When he takes questions every now and again, he'll start saying something and he goes, "Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. I'll get in trouble." Like, there's been so many red flags here. So many alarms have been going off.
They actually were calling us ableist. They were calling us ableist, right? Keep going. Sorry.
No, well, I'm not going to curse on the Megyn Kelly Show, but I would basically say F you to all of these people. They have now put us in this situation where we are a month away from a convention, as you just laid out, and they are about to swap him out. So everything that we've been dealing with for the last year, in essence, thinking that it was going to be Trump and Biden, they are done with Biden. And they just put us through all of this, on top of the fact that, I think we could probably deal with it if the world was in a bit of a better spot. But we have this insane Russia-Ukraine war, non-war that we're funding, but we're not in, something like that. The Israel-Hamas thing is actually secondary now to a much bigger war that could blow up with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and that could bring in several other countries. Obviously, we're having economic problems here. Just look at the interest rates or go to the supermarket. Like, there's serious stuff. If things were just kind of working, then I think we could put up with, having a guy that was a little confused and everything else, and we would just joke about it. But everything you said a moment before I came on about the way his mouth was, the staring off into complete blankness, the sentences that went nowhere. It's enough now. If you've been pretending not to see it, if you're watching this and you were just kind of on the fence, you have to see it now. This is serious stuff at this point.
Here is Van Jones of CNN.
That was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, I'll give you the analysis. You kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain for what we saw tonight.
And one more, Dave. Listen to this. This just in from CBS News. and Ed O'Keefe, the White House reporter.
There are at least some House Democrats who were gathered tonight watching this together, talking to the White House about having him step down. That's how bad it was in their view. Remember, House Democrats are on the verge of trying to get back the majority. They're nervous about doing that in places in these battleground states where they're going to need a strong top of the ticket. They may need to rely on a strong Senate or gubernatorial candidate, and in some cases they don't have it.
Step down before the convention?
Well, it would at least throw up somebody else instead of the president that debated tonight.
Dave, Biden's presidency, never mind his second term, is disintegrating before our very eyes.
Look, the truth is a time-release pill, and we are now seeing people who have laundered the lies and told us not to see what we see in front of us now being confronted with the obvious reality. They can all, it's interesting. Van Jones, he's sort of emoting there, and he loves him and all of that stuff. But it's like, dude, you knew. You didn't just magically see something that came out of nowhere. We have all known this. So you have all been part of it. And now whatever, they've all been given the signal. Oh, someone else is talking about it. Now somebody else will talk about it. Somebody else will talk about it. And we will get rid of him. And by the way, if you're Joe Biden, for whatever's left of Joe Biden. And by the way, I had two grandmothers that I lost to dementia and Alzheimer's related issues that I spent a lot of time with one of them, particularly towards the end, dealing with that and going to doctors. So for all the glibness that we can make of this, it's deeply depressing. But Biden should not have to spend his last few years in this situation. This isn't the right ending of any man being propped up there, which is why your comments on Jill Biden are totally right. But look, as this ship sinks further, the rats are going to scurry. And the other part of this, of course, Megyn, is that there's a huge scandal here. They have been drugging him, obviously. People know what's going on. There is some doctor that knows what's going on. Does Karine Jean-Pierre know? I don't know, but I guarantee you Jill Biden knows, and probably the chief of staff knows, and a couple other people. But now that the signal's out there and there's blood around him, in essence, somebody's going to break, and then it'll be like, I was the one. A couple months ago, I was telling everybody we had to do something about this. So we have completely, I would say, traversed into new territory tonight, and it has almost nothing to do with any of the issues that will fix America, and that's the deeply depressing part.
There will be piece after piece after piece in the papers now of exactly those people you just mentioned. I knew, I tried to warn. White House sources say they've been trying to warn people for months. And you're right, they'll start turning on each other. Because when you have Joy Reid and David Plouffe, right? She's the more woke squad dem, and Dave Plouffe is the more Obama, sort of seasoned, whatever, distinguished. They're not exactly squaddy dem. And, the Van Joneses of the world all saying it's panic. And he might actually need to step down. You have a genuine crisis on your hands. And the press will start printing those stories immediately, which will lead to just more feeding frenzy. And the only question is whether they can do it. Is there enough time? Oh, please. Come on. Here's Jill Biden lying again.
Oh, Lord.
You did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Oh my God.
It's like talking to a third grader. She's talking to him
like he's a baby. Yes, right. You have two babies right now. That's how you talk to them, is it not? You got all the... Can we listen to it again? We need to listen to it again.
I actually don't talk down to them.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Oh my God, Dave. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.